So I'm really excited about this video because it's going to show you how to prepare for nationals. You know, I'm not a coach or anything, but this is what's worked well for me, advice I've gotten from a lot of people, it's advice I've given to a lot of people, so I hope it can help you. But first off, if you're watching this video, you're probably going to nationals, so congratulations on making it this far. This video might get kind of long, so I'm going to break it down right now, so if you ever need to come back to this video, you know about where to go so you can get right to the information you need. First off, we're going to be talking about mental preparation, which I think is so important for nationals. It's something that really helped me throughout the years, and I hope it works for you. Next, we'll talk about wardrobe, again, crucial, important. And then we're going to move on into the required areas of competition. So we have formal wear, personal introduction, personal interview, and then moving on to the fun optional contests. First off, we have mental preparation, which I think is really, really important. You know, you have to be mentally prepared. And while it is a fun pageant weekend, it is a competition and it can be stressful. So the first thing I want to say is you have to be confident. You are way more capable than you think you are. Second, there's always room for improvement and growth. I used to be a competitive figure skater, and my mom always told me that there's gonna be someone else out there who is better than you, and that's probably gonna always be the case. So yes, there's always gonna be room for improvement and growth. You did really well at your state pageant, and so now you want to improve and bring that improvement to national. Pageant week is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to Disneyland, we have the Hollywood tour, the banquet with our family and friends, the themed rehearsals, but it's probably going to be stressful. So you need to know how to manage your stress well, and you need to know how to handle it. I'm not a doctor, I'm not really certified to give you stress management advice, but something that I like to do is take lots of slow, deep breaths. Now, backstage when I was at the state pageants waiting with girls before they were going on stage for formal wear and introduction, I would tell them to take slow, deep breaths, and this usually happened. That's not a slow, deep breath. To me, what really calms me down is to take a really slow, deep breath, like this. And I do it about 10 times, and I find that it really, really calms me. The next thing I want to talk about is seeking support from your family and your friends. I definitely would not have captured a national title if I didn't have the love and support of my mom and dad, my siblings, my bestest friends. It just wouldn't have been possible. So you want to seek that support from your loved ones. And this last part of the mental preparation that I want to talk about is what I believe is the most important. And it is a pageant and it is a competition, especially for us older girls. You know, when you're younger, it's a little bit different, but when you're older, you know, you're more mature and you do see it as a competition. And if you don't win, you are no less amazing than if you got to walk away with that national title. I didn't win a lot of time before I was able to walk away as the new National American Miss, and I know how it feels. My name was never called for an award at the national stage, so I know how it feels not to be a semi-finalist, not to make the top 10, to not make the top 5 for optionals. I know how it feels, and I truly believe that every experience that you get is something that will help you learn. You get experience when you don't get what you wanted, and I really believe that you can take something from each and every experience, each and every lesson, and so use nationals as an experience, something that will help you learn and grow, and you never know what's meant for you. You know, it doesn't usually click until you can look back. Even if you don't walk away as the new National American Miss or National All-American Miss, you're still an amazing person. You're still making a difference in your communities. You're someone's role model, most likely. And so you can still go home and work on those things. And I think one of the things that's really important for young girls to know is that you're not going to grow if you don't challenge yourself. And you have to really believe in your self-worth and believe in your abilities, because that's going to open doors for more opportunities in your future. And that's really what National American Miss is about. They want you to learn public speaking, learn how to be poised on stage, hold a conversation with someone you don't know. These are life skills that you're going to need to succeed in your career. And so, yeah, maybe you didn't win, but you're still gaining those experiences and they will help you down the road. Oh, I forgot one thing, nerves. I get asked a lot about this, and I feel like I kind of mentioned it already, but what I do to help with nerves is I take my deep breaths. That really calms me. And a lot of girls think it's not okay to be nervous. Being nervous kind of just means that you care. You know, it's okay to be nervous, but you want to calm yourself, and sometimes you're really not going to be able to control how much your heart is pounding. I mean, I felt that way when I was going to grab the microphone for my personal introduction when I was in the top 5. And so those are things that happen. But just take your deep breath and take your time on stage. A lot of times girls are so nervous, they get up there and they just rush through everything, and it's like, you paid for it, your parents paid for it, you raised the money, and so you should take up that time and soak up your spotlight and get your money's worth. You practiced, you prepared, and so show it off. Alright, so next up is personal introduction, one of my favorite parts. And a lot of people ask me, I think the most asked question about personal introduction is, how do I get the right tone? And to me, you want to be conversational but still authoritative. You don't want to have a speaker voice where it really sounds like you're speaking to someone, and you don't want to sound like you memorized it word for word, even though that's what we all do for personal introduction. You want it memorized, but you don't want to sound like you're just reading off a teleprompter. So what I like to do is think about I'm talking to someone. So usually, for me, since I'm older, I can think of it as talking to the judges, but maybe if you're younger, think of talking to mom, grandma, dad, sibling, and that really helps a lot of the younger girls, I think. Also, with personal introduction, you don't want to be a resume reader. Now that NAM has a time limit, it's a little bit harder to be one, but you don't really need to list every single organization that you're in. You don't need to list every single leadership position that you've held. List the really important ones. You want to anchor your intro around a theme. So mine was my lofty dreams and my ambition. Have everything have purpose. Don't say something just because you feel like they need to know it. Say it because it works. It flows and there's a cohesive theme throughout your whole introduction. And lastly, I said this earlier, but have confidence. Believe in yourself. With personal introduction, you want to sound convincing. You want the judges to think, she's the girl. She can go out and be the next National American Miss or next National All-American Miss. It's a job, and so this past year I was a role model. I was an inspiration to a lot of girls, and it involves a lot of speaking. So you want to prove to the judges that you can do that. You're a great speaker, you're poised, and you can handle yourself when you're given a microphone. Interview! So this is the part that I think a lot of people are scared of. It's my personal favorite because I think of it as a conversation, as I mentioned earlier, a conversation with the judges. It's something fun. It's a time where I can talk about myself, let the judges know who I am, my personality, and the things I like to do. A lot of girls ask me, how do I get comfortable in an interview? It's scary, it's nerve-wracking. I've never met this person in my life. And something that I like to think of is, don't think of it as them asking you a question and you giving them an answer. Just think of it as a chat, a quick chat. Maybe they're asking you about, something that you can make for them if they came to your house. So, just describe it like you would describe a friend. Like if your friend asks, hey, how do you make spaghetti? How would you make spaghetti? Tell them the way that you would tell your friend or maybe your grandma. And also, that brings me to my next point is how I'm using my hands. Hand gestures. It's perfectly fine to use your hands. It's natural. It's something that humans do. But you don't want to be overwhelmingly large with them. You don't want to knock something off the table or get in the judge's personal space. But it's okay to use them. Now, if you think that you use them too much, what I like to tell girls is to clasp your hands together and I put them in my lap. And so that way you can kind of control it, you can use them when you need to, and then bring them back to home base. Another important thing is not to ramble. Usually with interview, you want to keep your answers between 2 to 3 sentences, usually no more, and you want to bring every answer back to yourself. The judges are there to get to know you, not your mom, not your best friend, not your teacher. They want to know about you, so tell them about yourself. It's okay to be all about me, myself, and I during pageant weekend because the judges are looking to know you. They can't help you and give you the title if they don't know who you are. And you want to make sure you show judges emotion. If they're asking you about a favorite, that's usually when you should probably be excited. Have emotion, show them. If you're talking about something that's sad, it's okay to be sad. You want your emotion, your tone to match your answer because otherwise it's hard for the judges to believe you. Alright, so I'm definitely not going to get away with a how to prepare for nationals video if I don't give you guys some sample questions, so let me read some off. Alright, so why should you be the next National American Miss or a National All-American Miss? And I know what you're thinking. That's a lot of my resume, Hoang-Kim. Yes, I know, but sometimes judges do ask. So you kind of want to make sure your answer kind of matches. You can have a little bit longer one. You can explain more, justify why you want to win, but just have that ready because, hey, they just might ask you. Second, another thing is, if I came to your house, what would you make me? What's your favorite TV show? What's your favorite book, favorite magazine? Pretty much any favorite. If you could go back in history, who would you like to meet? If you could have lunch with anyone in the world, who would it be, dead or alive? What color best describes you? What does beauty mean to you? Who is a role model to you outside of someone in your family? Tell me about your best friend and your favorite memory with her. What about an embarrassing moment with you? Things like that. A great way to prepare for an interview is to type out a bunch of sample questions that you think you might get asked, print them out, cut them up, and I put them in a jar. And usually when I was younger and my mom would drive me around, she would pick one out while she was driving and ask me, and then I'd answer. And if she thought something was kind of funky with my answer, she would be like, oh, you should fix this and this, and then I'd fix it and try again. So you just really have to get comfortable with answering questions because that's the only way you're gonna not be super nervous in an interview. And like I said, it's just a conversation, so don't stress out too much about it. So the fun part, optionals. Now I'm gonna talk about the optionals that I've done well in, the ones that I feel like I can properly give you guys advice in. And so first off, it's gonna be casual wear, which is my personal favorite. And a lot of times I see people just literally get something off the rack and they don't put their own spin on it. And I think that's really important, putting your own unique twist on an outfit. So like actually spending time and like finding things that match, go together, you want a cohesive outfit, and you definitely have to practice your walk. So practice in the shoes that you plan on wearing, practice your turns, and when you put your hands in your hips, which I think is kind of weird because I put my hands on my waist, I think it really elongates you, it makes you taller, and you have your shoulders back more. When you put your hands in your hips, it really truncates you, and who wants to be short, right? I'm petite, but really, who wants to be short? You want to be tall and long. So put your hands on your hip, put your hands on your waist, look at the judges, give them lots of eye contact, play with your clothes, and just have fun with it. So moving on into spokesmodel, the first thing I want to say is you must pick a topic you care about. It's really hard to persuade someone or sound passionate about something that you personally don't care about. So I know if I did spokesmodel, I would probably talk about my organization and how we raise money for South Vietnamese veterans. So pick something that you love and you want to talk about. The next thing is, I know that you can have your speech on the podium and have it there as like, you know, a little blanket, a little safety net, but memorize your speech. I think you can have a better delivery and feel more confident and look more confident if you have your speech memorized. And remember what I said for personal introduction and not having a speaker voice and sounding like you memorized it? Same thing goes for spokesmodel. You know, you want to be conversational, and I think it's really important to have a call to action in your spokesmodel speech. It really engages the audience, it engages the judges, and it just makes your speech that much better. So we're at the end of my video, and this is the miscellaneous section because I couldn't quite figure out where to put this. It didn't really fit anywhere else, so I'm just kind of throwing it all here at the end. And the first thing in my miscellaneous section is making a packing list, and I cannot explain how much this is a part of my life. I love lists, I love organization, I clean all the time, and so when I say packing list, I mean write out every outfit that you're wearing, try and plan it, write out every outfit, and I mean down to shoes, earrings, necklace, bracelet, tights, maybe undergarments, I don't know. Write everything down because you never know what you can forget. Next up, snacks, and I love snacks. Snacks are my favorite. I used to be a competitive figure skater, so I would eat like 5 small meals a day and I would like munch on snacks in between. So you want snacks for when you can't get a full meal between events, and trust me, it happens. You want to have something to munch on, so usually I would say like bananas, granola bars, things like that will really keep you going until you can get to your next full healthy meal. Drink lots of water during pageant weekend. You know, take a water bottle with you to rehearsals, to events. You never know when your throat might get dry, especially before introduction or interview, and you don't want your throat to crack. So keep water with you, drink lots of water, stay hydrated, and it'll help you feel better in the long run. See that? You want to drink water during pageant week. Trust me, stay hydrated. And lastly, but most importantly, get sleep. Do not stay up late. I know when you're with your friends and you want to hang out and you want to have fun, but you really want to be well rested. And I can't stress enough how much sleep really affects your performance and your actions and your behavior. I think it's like if you don't get more than 6 hours of sleep for 4 nights, you're pretty much legally drunk. I know, that's really crazy. And a lot of people function on less than 6 hours of sleep a night, and that's really not healthy. When you get good quality sleep, you perform better, your brain functions faster, and you feel more alive, and that's what you want during pageant week. You don't want to be tired, you don't want to be dragging, you don't want to feel like you can't get your thoughts together, especially during interview or introduction. So get sleep. It's okay to check social media at night. I do it too. I check Instagram, I check Twitter and Facebook right before I go to bed, but put it away and get in bed as soon as you can because you're gonna need that rest. Alright, so that's my how to prepare for nationals video. I hoped I was able to give you a little bit of advice and help you prepare better. And before I leave, I just wanted to say to take lots and lots of pictures and enjoy your week. As always, don't forget to follow me on social media, so go to Facebook at www.facebook.com/Hoang-Kim Cung, on Twitter and Instagram at HKKung, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!